Live from the KWQC Broadcast Center in downtown Davenport with Morgan Otier and Kyle Keel. This is Quad Cities Live.
Today on QCL, a sneak peek at the upcoming season of classical theater produced by Genesius Guild, an outdoor theater company that draws attendees from across the country.
There's still time to register for the Quad Cities Heart Walk. We'll get details on this annual event working to end heart disease and stroke.
And Rock Falls is celebrating the life of one of the big band legends. Learn more about the Belson Music Fest set for this Saturday. Hello and welcome to Quad Cities Live on this Thursday, June 5th. Thank you for joining us. I'm Morgan Otier alongside my co-host Kyle Keel. Underway now at Circa 21 Dinner Playhouse is one of the most spectacular Broadway musicals of all time, Chicago.
Yes, and today we're getting a behind-the-scenes look at what audiences can expect when they see this performance live on stage. So joining us today in the QCL studio is Sarah Beth Gainey, who plays Roxy Hart, and Ellie Rebecca, who plays Velma Kelly. Thank you, ladies, both for taking some time out and joining us today. So, you know, this has been on stage at Circa for about a month now. How have things been going?
Fantastic.
Yes.
I mean, it's just so much fun.
Yeah, and as Morgan mentioned, I mean, this is a very well-known, popular musical. So tell us the backstory behind it for those who may not have seen it or just need a little refresher.
So it's about two murderers who find themselves in the Cook County Jail, Velma Kelly and Roxy Hart. And it's set in kind of a vaudeville stage, so it's not necessarily realistic looking at people in jail, but you get a lot of flash and a lot of musical theater along the way.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, so you both play lead characters, correct?
Yes.
So you are Roxy Hart, as Kyle mentioned, Velma Kelly. So describe, I'll have you start, Sarah. Describe your character for us.
Roxy Hart is pretty interesting. She's not maybe the most lovable character at first. She, I think, really wants to be successful and to make herself someone important, and happens to find that through this murder she has committed, she can find that fame. And so she does a lot of maybe not great things to get there, but I love that she just takes what she wants and goes for it.
Yeah, it must be fun, a fun character to play. Yeah. What about you? Can you describe your character? Because they end up becoming friends?
Kind of. They end up working together.
There you go. Okay. Cohorts.
But I think it is kind of a friendship by situation, because Roxy is looking for fame and Velma is an established vaudeville performer who found her sister and her husband cheating and committed murder. So she found herself in jail. But she's like this established vaudeville performer, and then Roxy kind of hops along with the fame. So yeah, by the end of it, they're a duo.
They're tag teaming.
Love that.
Yes.
So obviously with this being a musical, I mean, we have spectacular choreography and, of course, the music. I mean, show-stopping songs as well.
Absolutely.
What's it been like to learn these dances and learn these songs along the way?
Oh, it's been incredible. I mean, all that jazz and cell block tango, I feel like even if you're not super familiar with musical theater or the more niche musical theater, those are very well-known songs that just anyone knows, and they're so classic, and it's been so much fun to dive into really true source material. So it's been really great.
Awesome.
I can only imagine, and I have to ask, I mean, as actors yourselves and in musical theater, this has to be like a bucket list role to play for both of you.
Absolutely.
I remember watching the movie with my mom as a child, and I wasn't into musical theater, but I saw it and thought, oh man, that looks like so much fun. And so I didn't realize it was. I didn't know it was a bucket list role, but now I feel very lucky.
It really, I mean, but it really is, right? I mean, everybody has at least heard of the musical, and I mean, it was on Broadway for, I don't even know how many years it's been on Broadway for. All the awards, all the awards that it's won. Really incredible. So I have to ask, Ellie, how do you kind of make that role your own in a little way, or do you at all? I mean, what are some things, you know, that you like to do to just put your mark on it?
For me, it's been really fun because it is such a classic. I approached the material kind of with a blank slate, so I was trying to read it and see what I interpreted rather than what the movie presented or what is presented from the musical. And I found that Velma is a very funny character. You usually see her presented as very harsh and mean, but she has a lot of funny lines. So I'm kind of trying to lean into that.
Sure,
and make her more personable and more funny and not just this conniving murderess, you know?
Right. No, that's great. I love that response. I do.
Yeah, so what's been both of your guys' favorite part about being in the musical? What's the favorite part of the musical?
Oh, gosh. I mean,
Hard,
like you
right?
said, this is a dream show. So, like, I'm just loving every minute. It's been so much fun, and it's so special to be part of it, for sure.
I really love the number Roxy that I get to do. It's just this moment where I get to walk in the audience, and it really establishes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it establishes this break of the fourth wall that we want.
Good connection.
Yeah, and I get to just look into people's eyes and chat with them.
Wow, you're brave.
that would be very
nervous.
nerve-wracking. Yeah, very nerve-wracking.
Thinking about doing something like that. Well, I've seen even on Facebook, every time that Circa posts something about the show, the audience response just online is like, that was one of the best shows I've ever seen. That was a great time. So clearly people are loving it.
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right, and you still have plenty of time to check it out as well, because Chicago performances are already underway. They go until July 5th with performances on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday evenings at 7 o'clock, Sundays at 5 p.m., and then Wednesday matinees at 12:45 in the afternoon. For tickets, you can call the box office or visit circa21.com, and we have all that information on your screen. And of course, we'll have it on our website, kwqc.com. Just click on Quad Cities Live. Sarah, Ellie, thank you so much for joining us today, and keep breaking a leg there on stage.
Yeah.
Sounds like you guys are having a lot of fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And from one stage to another, ancient Greek tragedy and Shakespearean drama takes center stage this summer at Rock Island's Lincoln Park. We'll talk with the team behind the Genesius Guild, a one-of-a-kind outdoor theater company.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
Founded in 1956 and based in Rock Island's Lincoln Park, the Genesius Guild is the nation's oldest free classical theater company. It's also the only theater company in the U.S. that produces 2,500-year-old stories outdoors every summer, drawing attendees from across said country. Joining us now is Executive Director Doug Chope, along with Michael Callahan, the director of the Guild's first production this summer, which we were just talking about. Thank you both for being here today.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Awesome to be here.
we are so excited to have you. We love talking with your organization. Like I was saying before we started this segment, it is just so unique in every sense of the word to find something like what you do across the country. So Doug, what I'll have you do is give us a little bit of background, the best you can do, because as we mentioned, I think 1956 is a long time. But tell us a little bit about how y'all got started.
But we've all heard the stories, right? So the group actually won a play competition in Rock Island Parks in 1956, and Don Wooten was asked to if he wanted to put a play on in a park. And he went and looked at all the Rock Island parks, and there was this area in Lincoln Park, and there were some columns, and he went, that looks like a good place to put on a play. That looks Greek.
Columns are Greek.
He had never read a Greek play. Somebody suggested that he go read Antigone. And which kind of ties, it's a later part of the story we're doing this summer.
Oedipus Part 2.
Yeah, it really is. And that's how it all got started. And then that whole idea of making it available to everybody, no matter what your income is. So performances are free. We rely on donations and that to keep it going, funding, funders, local funders. But those works, Michael's work in these 2,500-year-old plays, it's pretty amazing. As somebody that stood on that stage for a lot of years and introduced all the plays, people would come up and talk to me afterwards. And a lot of times they would say, you picked that play because of current political situations, right?
Well,
and I'd be like,
no comment.
No, we picked Prometheus Bound because we haven't done it for years. If you think it's about a leader that becomes too powerful,
then that's on you.
You think it reflects something in the United States. It just shows, though, how relevant all of it still is and will continue to be. Okay, so Michael, let's talk a little bit about your production that is going to be happening this weekend. Tell us what folks will be performing on stage.
Yeah, well, we're doing Oedipus Rex, which is sort of the standard classical Greek play. You look it up. This is probably the first first one that you'll learn about in school. And essentially, from the very beginning, the audience would have probably known the plot and the whole story of Oedipus. And pretty early on in the play itself, it's revealed what is going to happen. But part of the joy of the tragedy is sort of how these people who should know kind of better sort of keep missing each other. They can't quite put the whole puzzle together until the very end, and how Oedipus himself sort of has this tragic fall from being that big, rich, powerful leader to having sort of a comeuppance by the end.
Well, and then it just goes to show you, again, how relevant these lessons are and why they're something that we can keep performing over and over again, because somebody will find something in that is of relevance to them. Doug, talk a little bit about what's on tap, so to speak, for the rest of the season, because you have a lot of good stuff going on.
It's a really strong season.
Yeah, it is.
Much Ado About Nothing is just a super, super fun show. Technically a comedy.
Right.
You know, there's a little angst at a spot in there, but everything, I mean, people get married at the end, that's how you know it's a Shakespeare comedy.
Okay.
Right? So there's always, if there's a wedding at the end, it's a comedy.
I did learn that. Okay. And if there's death, it's a tragedy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then we've got Antony and Cleopatra.
Wow.
That it's it's a classic story. People from all around the world are familiar with. If you ask who's Cleopatra, they're like, oh, we've heard of Cleopatra.
Sure. Yeah.
I was actually surprised. I work with a lot of international students in my day job, and one of them said, oh yeah, she played Antigone, which is a character in the Oedipus, when she was in high school in her country.
Wow.
And I kind of asked some general questions about Cleopatra, and everybody seemed to know Cleopatra.
Well, of course, yeah, we all learn about it growing up, I think. We have to reference these.
Oh, yeah.
These giant masks. So yeah, here, Michael, I'll let you, just in case I do something wrong, which has been done before. Yeah, tell us about these. These wear them on stage?
This is Jocasta's mask, and she will wear this on stage. I, as a director, kind of play with the idea of, when we're out in public, our public persona, and then our more intimate moments. So there will be times where the actors will remove these masks and be able to have more intimate moments.
I love that idea.
And during their breakdowns and so much that happens on stage, they'll also take them off. And over here we have a mask that is what Oedipus will look like on our stage.
This is cool, and you've got the little eye holes there.
And again, Oedipus as being the king, and by the end he's going to be sort of removed from that mask after his fall.
Okay, amazing. And before we run out of time with you both, I wanted to just ask, when you talked about Much Ado About Nothing, something really cool is happening with that production. You are using predominantly high school cast. This is a really great opportunity for them, not only for future actors or producers or directors, but also they're going to be mentored by actors. I mean, that is just a great opportunity.
Yeah, all the way from our artistic director, who's really also the producer. He comes from a professional acting background, and he's out there all summer. But then you've got these longtime actors that they're working with, and if you're going to do theater, you have to do Shakespeare at some point, right? It's just it's a necessity. And for a lot of we've run into over the years, students are also like, gosh, we hear about Greek plays and we had to read a couple in a class, but to actually do them. And we do a Greek comedy at the end of the year. Aristophanes wrote 80 comedies, 11 of them survive today. One of them isn't really park ready, and that's Lysistrata. That's the one people might read in college. Can't do that one in a public park. But the rest of them, we tend to rotate then on a basis, and we try to keep some characters and some of the plot. A lot of times have to then reinterpret the rest. Because Aristophanes was all about political humor, making fun of people in the audience, especially the wealthy people. So we try to do the same thing in the light of Aristophanes.
You guys have a lot of fun.
And nobody does those. Right? I get emails when we do them to to the webmaster at Genesius Guild, and there'll be college professors going, how do you actually put the clouds or the piece on stage? Right, it doesn't translate. Yes, it does.
You've got to see it. You've got to see it for yourself, and you guys are kind of all in it together with that outdoor setting, which is also just a very cool and unique part of this. So all performances, as Doug mentioned, are free and begin at 7 p.m. at Lincoln Park in Rock Island. For a look at the production schedule, there's plenty there. You can plan your trip, or you can just show support for the Guild. Visit them on the web at genesius.org. Doug and Michael, thank you so much for being here today, and just good luck to you this weekend.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes,
Thank you. We love to talk theater anytime.
We do. We do.
Me too, apparently. I just like it. All right, coming up on QCL, make plans this summer to participate in the Quad Cities Heart Walk, raising critical funds for life-saving research, education, and training. Details next.
Quad Cities Live continues.
Could you save a life in an emergency? The Quad Cities Heart Walk is coming up, and this year it's about more than walking. It's about raising money for research and CPR training. Joining us now is Scott Nauman, the 2025 Heart Walk Chair, along with Michelle Spencer, who is part of the whole team organizing this. Thank you so much for being here, both of you. Scott, I'm going to start with you. Talk a little bit about the Heart Walk for us. For folks who have never participated in person, what is the Heart Walk? And what's the mission of the day?
Right, that's a great question. It's a culmination of a lot of efforts throughout the year to educate and do some outreach in the community. We raise funds through this, but what I really have noticed in my 3 years as being a chairperson is that there are moments and memories that are very personal, and the more we talk about it, everyone has a different reason for being in that park, Schwiebert Park, at 8 a.m. on June 14th. Means a lot to each person. Someone has lost a relative, has just gotten a pacemaker. You know, it's very, very individual. Yeah, and then the rest of us are like, hey, we're with you. The sponsors matter. People show up and show out. And then when you walk across that bridge and show that unity, we've been saying this really truly is one heartbeat of the Quad Cities, supporting moments and memories. People that are survivors, you know, are there. There's a shorter route for that, but really cool. It's just phenomenal. And so we're trying to raise a little money and awareness.
I love any event that just brings all kinds of folks from across the Quad Cities together, and this is no exception. It's been going on for many years. So Michelle, this is taking place this year in Schwiebert Riverfront Park there in Rock Island. At least that's where it all begins. Yes. Just give us a little idea of what the day feels like when you show up. I mean, Scott mentioned people start arriving around 8 a.m. They start walking around 9 a.m. What does it feel like to be part of this?
It's a really great experience. You get to come together with friends and family, and there's lots of different vendors there that provide information or some free handouts.
Oh, good.
There'll be CPR hands-only training on board this year, and it's a great experience.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And CPR, Scott, is a major focus for this year. So talk a little bit more about the decision to really focus a lot of efforts on CPR, because, I mean, really that can be the difference in a lot of situations.
Right. I don't know how many people have been in a room or in a public setting where someone has dropped and there's a cardiac arrest. And I know myself, I've wondered, even though I've had the training, even though I've thought, you know, time and time again, what would I do? Never been in that moment. But you know, I've read enough stories and watched enough testimonials that those moments, like we just had a couple at the YMCA locally where we happened to meet folks that a member had an issue, and they brought him back.
Wow.
And then the person whose life was saved it's surreal.
Yeah.
But it matters that people know, and that it's okay to do your best to just try to save that life. It really does. I mean, it is life and death.
Yeah.
And the fact that we know, you know, enough. But how many of us in that moment would go, I don't see anything, I'm going to keep, you know, it's staggering, isn't it?
It really is. And when you think about it, I think because of just media, like movies and things like that, we all think we would know what to do, you know, like, you know, but truly and honestly, like, I've taken one CPR class just right after my daughter was born, because I just feel like I need to know this now, right? I'm a mom. And there are some little nuances that are important to know, but they're not hard. So it's like just taking the time to learn it can just make a huge difference in a family's life.
We've had the discussions too, like we lose more women than men. And there is, you know, the physical facts are, look, if that lady is, is it okay to, am I going to get sued if, You know, so it's super awkward.
Yeah.
But trust me, the ladies that have the ladies that have had CPR, it's like, you saved my life.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
That's more important than the fear and the stigma,
else.
but that's the society we're living in. And it
is.
matters that folks come out. We would love to see that park filled. We take a great photo in the heart shape with all the folks that are there.
Okay.
And you know, frankly, over the last few years, post-COVID, it's been awkward trying to get people to get out and show up.
Yeah.
And there's no cost to enter.
Yeah.
Certainly
Oh, wow.
fundraising is encouraged.
Fundraising is important.
But how great is it to have the community show up and show out for this?
Absolutely, and I believe we do have a map of the route if folks are a little bit curious about what that looks like. And while we're taking a look at that, Michelle, you guys are going to be handing out per family a CPR, like an at-home CPR type of kit?
Yes, that is correct. While supplies last.
Okay.
So get there early.
Because somebody sponsored this. I mean, yeah.
Yes.
So while supplies last, yes, get there early if you want to. But this is just a way for folks to teach themselves at home
Absolutely.
how to do CPR.
Yep. You
Okay.
can learn within 20 minutes.
Okay, wonderful. So I want to know before we let you guys go, what motivates each of you to be such a big part of this planning organization? And Scott, I'll start with you.
Right.
Why is it so important to you?
Well, it's become really personal. I don't know that my daughter, when she was in 2nd grade, had something called SVT, where her heartbeat would go nearly 200 beats a minute.
Okay.
And she didn't want to be a patient, or, you know, it was awkward to wear the heart monitor when you're that age. All of a sudden, who's the kid with the, you know, and I just know that there's a gazillion stories just like that.
Yeah.
I know Michelle's got a personal story as well. And it just, the more you listen, the more you realize, hey, I just need to show support here.
Yeah.
Larry McCoben, one of our longtime Bettendorf, you know, citizens, you know, he meant so much to us, but I mean, we sadly eventually lost him due to cardiovascular health and wellness.
Yeah.
So.
What about you, Michelle?
Well, I have a lot of heart disease in my family.
Okay.
And
That'll do it, yeah.
Yeah, both sides. I lost my father at 59, my older brother at 54.
Wow.
And so I just want to help raise awareness and, you know, raise some funds while we're doing it, so people will understand the importance of heart health and learning hands-only CPR, just in case you're in that situation.
Absolutely,
you can
how
help
easily we can all be touched by something like that. You know, absolutely. I think someone has someone in their family or their friend group where they're touched by heart disease. So the QC Heart Walk, it is set for Saturday, June 14th. So it's coming up. It's at Shreveport Riverfront Park in Rock Island. That event starts at 8 a.m. The walk begins at 9, and you can register right now at quadcitiesheartwalk.org, or you can just show up to the event that morning and get registered. And if you cannot attend, you can make an online donation. You heard today truly how important all of that is. Scott and Michelle, thank you so much for coming on the show today and just sharing so much with us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you. Coming up, Rock Falls is turning up the volume for the annual Belson Music Fest, a celebration of big bands and community spirit. We'll preview the lineup and can't miss attractions. And later, hop into a golf cart or onto an electric bike this summer. We'll take you to a LeClaire family business with the products and knowledge to get you started.
And we've had a little more sunshine today. However, you're getting a little more cloud cover. So it's still a little hazy as well with that wildfire smoke in the air. But temperatures have warmed up pretty good here across the QCA, with highs getting into the 70s. But we have warmer temperatures here heading into next week. But first, we got to get through the chance of rain here this weekend. Now, those details coming up in your first alert forecast coming up in the next half hour. Quad Cities Live.
Accurate and reliable. This is your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Kyle Keel.
Got a couple updates to bring you on the tornadoes that moved through here on Tuesday. The tornado count still up to 8, but the National Weather Service meteorologists continue to look at radar data as well as information sent into them. There's been a couple of updates to the tornadoes. Now, we updated you earlier, the track here of the Monmouth tornado, a little more than 7 miles long. So this track on the southeast side of Monmouth, heading up to the northeast of town here in portions of Warren County. That was an EF1 tornado. Most of these tornadoes were EF1 tornadoes. Of course, we had that tornado on the ground for a couple of minutes there in New Boston. Then we had the one going from Joy to Millersburg, also an EF1 strength. And then we had several tornadoes here in portions of Rock Island County. We had that tornado formed near Reynolds, doing some damage there in the heart of town. And then we had a brief EF0 tornado in Edgington. But it's this tornado that tracked just to the south of Taylor Ridge, through Taylor Ridge, and heading up toward the the southern end of Milan. That track is now up to a little more than 14 miles. And then the latest track here for the Coin Center to Moline Tornado is a little more than 12 miles. So this actually went near the Moline High School as well as Hy-Vee on Avenue of the Cities and tracked toward East 53rd Street, as we've had a lot of tree damage there in Moline. And of course, nearly 20,000 customers without power in the QC as those tornadoes move through. So you can get a closer look at those tracks, the damage that has been done by the tornadoes on our website, kwqc.com. We also have that article up on the QC, on the First Alert Weather app, rather. As we look at the Everywhere Camera Network, certainly seeing a little more cloud cover than earlier today, especially evident there on Burlington and Washington. A little hazy as well, so we'll call it hazy sunshine today. 77 at the airport in Moline, but take note of that dew point, 51 degrees. So yes, we've got some rain that's popping up on First Alert Live Doppler radar, but as it continues to track off to the east and northeast, it's probably going to dry up a bit because we have those dew points in the low 50s. So that dry air is in place, and you can certainly feel the drier air as you're stepping outside. So we'll watch this batch maybe produce a few sprinkles here as we head into the evening hours, but overall we are going to stay dry heading into the overnight. Temperatures will fall down into the upper 50s to near 60, and then tomorrow temperatures will bounce back into the mid to upper 70s. And as I mentioned, we're not looking at too many rain chances here over the next 24 hours. We'll just see that increase in clouds here as we head into tonight. Peaks of sunshine early tomorrow morning, maybe a brief shower here heading into the afternoon, but there are more rain chances heading into the weekend. Chief Meteorologist Eric Maitland will have those updates coming up at the news at 4.
Yep, that's Louie Bellson, born in 1924 in Rock Falls, Illinois. He was a renowned American jazz drummer, a composer, a band leader, and an educator. And each year, Bellson's hometown celebrates his life and legacy with a giant festival. Here to tell us all about the Bellson Music Fest is Melinda Jones, Director of Rock Falls Tourism, along with Davenport jazz musician Josh Duffy. Welcome back to both of you.
Thanks, good to be here.
Yes, it's a fun pair to have here in the studio today, so I really appreciate it. Josh, we've spoken with you many times in the past about Louie Bellson. So talk a little bit about who he was. I mean, I know you are the guy to go to if you want to learn a little bit more. But why is this festival such a special tribute?
It's wonderful because he was born in Rock Falls in 1924 on July 6th. And his real name was Luigi Paolino Alfredo Francesco Antonio Balassoni.
Oh.
So that was his real name, but he took the stage name of Louie Bellson.
Okay.
And then he came back to the Quad City area about mid-30s and lived here when his father had the music store in downtown Moline. And when I was deciding where I wanted to go for my career, I wanted to stay here because we had Bick Spiderbeck, we had Louie Bellson.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, who's going to carry their traditions on? Yeah. And I knew Louie going through high school. I took lessons with him, and every time he came to town, we got together. And so I wanted to be here to carry that torch to the next generation and keep that legacy of Louie Bellson going. But now Melinda Jones and Rock Falls Tourism has done an amazing job of putting on the Bellson Music Fest in the place where he was born.
Yeah, it is a really special tribute, and it's, you know, moreover, it's a way for people to start asking questions about someone that they may not know. So they're going to go to this really fun event, right, and they're going to go, okay, maybe I should probably know a little bit more about this person, and that's kind of a way to keep his legacy alive, so to speak.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, he was even big into civil rights when he married Pearl Bailey in 1952, which that was not very common to happen.
Yeah.
And they stayed married until she passed away in 1990. So, I mean, here's somebody who was not looking at color of his skin, he was looking at somebody that he loved.
Yeah.
But the same thing with music. Duke Ellington hired him into his band. And that clip that we just saw, that was him drumming with the Duke Ellington Orchestra. And so he's known as one of the world's greatest musicians. And so the people of the Quad Cities and the people of Rock Falls should be very proud of him. And this festival is such a great way to see the music that he created and the different styles he played, playing with James Brown as well. So
I know. It's really, it's really incredible, his career. And Melinda, I want to speak with you a little bit about the day in general. Talk a little bit about what people can expect. Things kick off 11:30 on Saturday morning.
Yeah, so 11:30 at the McCormick Event Center, which is about a block from the RBNW district where the actual event will happen later. Will be Greg Potter. He's the drummer for the Buddy Rich Big Band Machine. And he will be doing all the tricks and trades and showing you what it all is about drumming. And he's from Chicago, and we're really excited about that. It's a free event.
Amazing.
And then we'll go over to the RBNW Park about 1 o'clock, and we will start off with the Yorkville Big Band, 3 o'clock Abby Grouse Band, and 5 o'clock is Josh Duffy and the Blackhawk Broadcasters,
Yes.
and 7 o'clock is Rare Element.
Yeah,
So,
wow. It is
yeah.
certainly a day full of music and celebrating different types of music, which I think is really cool as well. So is this I know it's a free event. Is it family friendly? I mean, is there like food available, things like that?
Yep. Family friendly, free, and then also we will have food available.
Okay,
yeah,
awesome.
definitely.
Very cool. And talk a little bit more about the drum clinic, Josh, that is happening,
Yes.
because this is something that I know you definitely did last year as well.
Right, yes.
Describe the turnout and really what an incredible opportunity this is for anybody who likes music.
It is. A few years ago, we had Walfredo de los Reyes, the drummer for the band Chicago. He came and did our clinic, had a great
Goodness.
turnout. Last year, we had Steve Smith, the former drummer for Journey, who was in, had another great turnout. So Greg Potter is the drummer for the Buddy Rich Big Band Machine.
Yeah.
And he's also married to Kathy Rich, Buddy Rich's daughter. And so she's going to be there with Greg, but Greg knows all these tricks and trades of Louie Bellson and of Buddy Rich, and he actually won the Louie Bellson drum contest many, many years ago. He's going to have his award there. So he has a deep appreciation for Louie, but that's something that Louie did back in the 60s and 70s, were these drum clinics
Yeah.
to teach the young generation the techniques and the trade.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, so you brought some items with you here today, Josh. So describe, because I don't want to touch anything that is, you know, incredibly important, and I know that it is to you. So describe for us what you brought.
Yes, so, and if you want to hold this up with the lighting there.
Okay.
This is an actual Bellson Music Company program. This is from downtown Moline, where his father had the music store, and Louie signed this for me when I saw him in the early 2000s. And that's Louie, a picture of him from about 1941.
Wow.
And even when he saw it, he goes, man, look at my hair, look at my clothes. That was the style back then.
Wow.
But he signed that for me, and that's what every student received at the Bellson Music Company, was that little program, and it was actually a manuscript book, so they could write the notes in there, and that's what they took to each lesson. So Louie's father was very proud of him that he put him on the cover of their manuscript book.
That is amazing. And then you have drumsticks right here.
Yes,
It looks like he signed them.
So these are actually put out by the Zildjian Company. You can actually pick those up, that's
Okay.
fine. They actually sell these through the Zildjian website, and we'll actually be selling these at the festival.
Oh, really?
Yes. So, yep.
That is a cool
Yep, if you flip
opportunity.
around, then people can see that signature there. And they actually put the Louie Bellson 100, so it commemorated the centennial birthday of Louie Bellson.
Yeah,
So,
that
so
is-
we'll have very limited pairs of these at the festival for people to buy.
Oh, and especially after being part of the drum clinic, I'm sure there's going to be
Yes.
so many folks that want to get their hands on these.
Oh, yes.
What does it mean to you? Because I know that your band will be playing a lot of his music on
Yes.
Saturday night. That has to be also very meaningful to you to participate in something like this.
Yes, and I love it with Melinda. We have the big band that's opening it up, so we have that big band aspect of Louie's life.
Yes.
Then we have blues band, Avi Grau's band, and then
Yeah.
my group is going to be playing a lot of that music in a small group form of Louie's, and they're compositions and arrangements of Louie's. So
Okay.
we bring the historical aspect. Then Rare Element is going to funk it up for the rest of the night
Yeah.
there until 8:30 and take us out with a good show there.
Yeah, and then we've got the schedule on the screen for folks right now, but of course they'll be able to find this online. Melinda, it's going to be a great weekend.
It's going to be awesome.
It's
No
just
rain.
fabulous. Yes,
Yes.
right?
We're
That's
We're hoping
what
that the
Melinda's-
weather crew here
Yes.
can brew us up a good forecast.
You guys were glued to that forecast. We'll be hoping and praying for you. The Bellson Music Fest is this Saturday, June 7th from 11:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. And for more information, a look at the lineup, just head to visitrockfalls.com. You can also find the event right on Facebook. Melinda and Josh, we appreciate you coming in today and chatting with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Just ahead on Quad Cities Live, come along as I take my first ever ride on an electric bike. Yep, we're visiting with Electric Vehicles of Iowa next on QCL.
Quad Cities Live continues.
Whether you are exploring your own neighborhood, cruising a campground, or just trying to add some eco-friendly fun to your daily routine, electric vehicles are changing the way we ride. We are here today at EVI in LeClaire, checking out their variety of options, and joining me now are Scott and Patrick Galandi. Thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Thank you.
Absolutely, yeah, we're so happy to talk with you. So Scott, tell us a little bit about EVI and really what you offer here in the Quad Cities.
Thanks. Well, EVI has been around for about 5 years, and we focus on golf carts and e-bikes. And we offer a number of accessories for the golf carts and e-bikes as well, and we do lithium battery conversions for the golf carts.
Okay, wonderful. So Patrick, talk to us a little bit about who is your typical customer that may walk in here any given day.
Yeah, I would say the bikes are really all ages, and we see customers that skew a little bit older trying to continue riding through their, throughout their years. But we also have people that are just trying to ride further and longer, get to work and back. So that really skews through all different types of walks of life, where the golf carts are more towards families and couples looking to go on the golf course or to the campground and enjoy those activities together.
Okay, wonderful. Well, feel like showing me around?
Yeah, you bet.
So Patrick, there are a variety of ways that we can not only accessorize these EVs, but also make them feel more like us. We can personalize them.
Yeah, they offer a variety of great color options. Aventon does for their e-bikes, and Venom EV for their golf carts. You can really choose your specific color and style that is best fitting for you, from a cruiser style to a more off-road style bike. And then, of course, we have different styles of golf carts as well, from 2-passenger carts meant for the golf course to 4- and 6-passenger carts meant to haul the whole family along.
Okay, wonderful. And as far as accessories are concerned, so everybody gets to, pick out different touches.
Yeah, you can put your own style of bag on there with the preferred pattern. You can get different popular options like mirrors, locks. Seats are another really popular comfort upgrade on there, and we offer a wide variety for our customers to enjoy.
Wonderful. Okay, so beyond accessories and all the fun stuff like picking out the colors, there are some real practical benefits as well with EVs.
Yeah, it's an eco-friendly, fun way to get around. The golf carts, we like to say they're like driving a convertible. You really have a fun time and enjoy yourself. And then the bikes, they sort of extend your mobility beyond what a regular bike would be able to. You sort of get away from the slog of riding uphill and through a headwind, and you have that assistance to really help you along and have a fun time while you're doing it.
All right, so we're hopping in right now. Now, I see a lot of cool features, Patrick, like there's the flat screen in here. I mean, people are going to want to add all of this stuff.
Yeah, the really great thing about Venom EV is their motto is premium is our standard. So all of the different features like the lights, comfortable seats, steel-belted radial tires, independent rear suspension, all those things that you might get after the fact from other companies, you get standard from Venom. So all the prices that you see include everything that you would be looking for in a golf cart.
This all comes with it?
Yes.
Okay, that's amazing. Well, let's take it for a ride.
Let's do it.
All right, so Scott, what is this model? Can you tell me a little bit more about it?
This is a Venom Stealth, and it's a forward-facing cart, so all of the seats face forward. No one has to ride going backwards anymore.
Okay, all right. So that's one thing that obviously makes it really stand out from the traditional golf carts that we see. What are some other features that you think really sets this apart?
Well, the Venom golf carts have been really good for us, and what's great is the ride quality. So people drive other golf carts, they come back and drive the Venom, and the ride quality is just so good that they buy our carts. And it's really due to the radial tires, steel-belted radial tires, as well as the independent suspension that makes these carts just have an awesome ride.
So Scott, where are you seeing these golf carts being used in and around the Quad Cities?
Well, most of our local communities have a golf cart ordinance that allows golf carts to be driven on the roads.
Okay.
As long as you follow the rules. And most times the rules is anywhere where the speed limit's under 30 miles per hour. And then, you have to have a orange flag and then a slow-moving triangle on the back, and insurance in most cases are also required to have a driver's license as well. But we're seeing a lot more uses for golf carts. People going to the store, grocery store, and even just cruising around the neighborhood, honestly, is really a popular activity there.
We're seeing that a lot more, I think, as well, especially for folks that not only live near golf courses, but just have like safe surroundings and neighborhoods. It's just an easy way to get around. We are getting ready to ride some e-bikes. I'm a new e-bike rider. What are some things that some new e-bike riders should know?
Yeah, I always like to get people comfortable by first saying you don't need to engage the assist right away. You can first ride it as a regular bike, leave the assist mode off, and then engage that when you're ready. And each pedal assist mode is going to increasingly give you more speed. So you have 3 different modes, and they'll correspond to how fast you're pedaling. Okay. So on that first mode, if you just want to get a little bit of assistance after you get your balance up, you click that on, and then you can get up and go from there.
And it's very easy, like a plus-minus system. Yes. So they've kept that really simple for people, which I think a lot of us who are new really appreciate being able to decipher that. So what does that assist ultimately really help with? I mean, just getting you where you want to go?
Yeah, you get up to 20 mile an hour out of the box speeds, so you can get to your destination a lot quicker, but you also have a range up to 70 miles. So you can really ride the whole day long, you know, plan a weekend trip around it, really get a lot of enjoyment out of it that way.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so for people who are e-bike riders that have already had some experience, what are maybe some upgrades or some changes with these newer models?
Yeah, so this year Aventon, our main brand that we carry, upgraded all of their models with a 4G smart tracking technology. And that technology enables a handful of things. The main ones being you can track it on your phone just like an AirTag.
Oh, wow.
You also have a rear wheel lock enabled on every bike, so you can lock it down. You can also get a passcode lock set on the display so no one can interact with the bike when you don't want them to with those built-in locks. And then there's even a built-in alarm system.
All good to know. And finally, I have to know, what's it like for you to see somebody ride an e-bike for the first time? Because the response, I'm assuming, has been amazing.
The thing that we always identify as the e-bike smile when people take a ride, and I'm sure that you'll have one when we go for a ride here, because it just enables that fun mobility and you don't get the slog or too much effort. You know, you choose how much you want to exercise on one of these bikes, so it really empowers a lot of people that way.
Patrick, introduce us to this other employee.
Yeah, we have our mascot for the shop, Ace. That's my dog, and he goes to work with us every day, and people love to see him and come out of their way to our shop to greet him, sometimes more than to look at our fun electric vehicles.
Yeah,
so it's a lot of fun to have him there.
He draws people into the store. So, Scott, I mean, it really feels like a community business. How have you enjoyed being here in LeClaire and serving the Quad Cities?
Well, we're in LeClaire on purpose, right? We like being downtown LeClaire. We like being part of the activities that are here. We think it's great that people come to LeClaire to support the businesses in our business. So It really is fun to be downtown LeClaire. It's good to be part of the action.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both so much for having me out today.
Thanks for coming.
I really appreciate it. Yes, thank you.
It's been a lot of fun. Thank you.
You're natural on the bike.
Thank you. Electric Vehicles of Iowa is located at 538 North Cody Road in LeClaire. We have that address and their phone number on your screen. And for a closer look at the variety of products available, bikes and golf carts, visit eviiowa.com. Still to come on Quad Cities Live, we are taking a walk down memory lane. Our Throwback Thursday feature is next on QCL.
Tomorrow on QCL, hydrate and nourish your skin with holistic, non-toxic skincare that's locally made. We'll introduce you to Profusion Skincare.
Plus, fashion-forward wedding dresses from pearls to prints. See the latest styles. That and more tomorrow at 3 on Quad Cities Live. Okay, it is time now for our Throwback Thursday segment. I don't know about you, but sometimes like the day is a little dry and I'm like nothing good happened around this time. But you can kind of do whatever you want with it, right?
Exactly.
Like no rules. You can throw it back to whatever time you want. So talk a little bit about yours for today.
So you know, one easy way that I do this is I just go to the Facebook memories, you know.
Oh,
so
yeah.
back 7 years ago, I was living up in Waterloo at the time. And my dog and I had come back to visit the family, and of course we had to make a stop at Whitey's.
Oh my gosh.
And of course he had to get a lick too of my cone there. It looks like I've got the mango raspberry, the cookies galore, and I think I don't know what it's called, the mint cookies or something like that. And a waffle cone, of course.
That stresses me out.
Yeah.
Like the choices of having 3 scoops of those choices is chaotic.
It is very
chaotic.
chaotic.
It's like fruit
yes.
and then like savory.
Yep.
But a lot of people like that.
And that's typically what I do. I do
you do
fruity,
whatever.
chocolate, and then the sweet one too. So.
All of it's good.
It's so good.
You can't
so
go wrong.
Yeah.
All right, all of it's good.
Yes.
Okay, so this was Jake Eastburn's suggestion today. He
And
was
I
like,
love this
why don't you
suggestion,
throw back to one of your tough jobs that you used to do?
Yes, the people loved this.
Yeah, well, this is what's crazy. It blew my mind. This actual one, I was working on a barge, and this is a segment I used to do called Tough Jobs, really a long time ago. In fact, this is from 2015. 10 years ago at this time. So it was May of 2015. And Mike Ortiz and I went out there and shot this story, and I'm just riding on a barge, and they're like showing me how to do all kinds of things, like tie barge cables, untie barge cables. I got to drive the boat.
You did?
Like the part that pulls it. Is it a towboat, tugboat? I don't know.
How did that go?
Someone's gonna tell me on the internet that I'm wrong, but no, this one was actually really, really fun. And you got to walk on top of the barge, like that's how they get to and from. everywhere. But this was one of the most difficult, tough jobs. I wouldn't say the most difficult,
sure,
but one of the most difficult ones that I did. So maybe we'll start bringing some of these back. I mean,
we'd love
it's
that.
been about a decade, and they're funny.
Yeah, I can't. I do remember those segments airing, and I can't wait to
They're
take a look back down memory lane of some of those tough jobs.
Yeah, they're actually pretty funny. At the very end, they would like grade me, like give me a grade on how well I did at the job.
And how well did you do there?
You know what? I don't remember, but I feel like maybe he gave me a B, and
A B?
I
Okay.
did like a
above average.
Yeah, I guess, but I'm a perfectionist. All right. Thank you so much for watching QCL today.
Your news at 4 with Sharon is coming up next. We'll see you here tomorrow.